Good morning. Make some beer today. I'm going to make a barley wine of my own concoction. It's not clone or anything. It's going to take a few hours. I'm going to be doing maybe a 2-hour mash and a 2-hour boil, and it's going to take obviously quite a long time to ferment out. Maybe we'll be ready in 6 months' time. So kind of springtime next year, hopefully. But we'll have some tastings in the meantime. Let me show you the recipe, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the barley wine, as I said, this is my recipe. I'm making a 12-litre batch. And I'm doing it in my 20-litre Braumeister, obviously. I've got 4.5 kilos of Maris Otter, just lots of kind of base malt, quite a bit bready. I've got some special B. It's like a kind of crystal malt maybe, but it's got more of a kind of deep kind of raspberry berry flavour to it as well. And I've got some Crystal 60, which is just gives a bit of, just balances the brew out, gives a bit of sugar, maybe a bit more dark malt in there as well. So that's that part of the recipe. I'm going to be bittering with Pilgrim. Got plenty of that there. And in the end, I'm going to use Bramling cross, which will give a maybe. I think it's got a bit of a Bramley flavour about it later. Obviously the bramble flavour is a name. We get a bit of a berry flavour on that as well. So you can see the theme there, can't you? I'm going to be fermenting with WLP099. I've got a starter there which has been going for the last few days. I think I'm going to save a bit of that, and let's give it a bit of a shake. I'm going to save a bit of that for another day as well. So obviously this costs about £7. And this yeast is quite special. I mean, it's the super attenuating yeast. It does, they reckon on the packet it'll do it to about 10 up to about 25% ABV, which is quite strong really, obviously. But you could only really get to those dizzy numbers if you, they suggest to aerate it continually for the first 5 days and to feed it continually with obviously more sugars over those 5 days as well. So it's always got plenty of stuff to chew on. My intention is to aerate it well, obviously once it's all been cooled, and give it a good pop a bit of yeast nutrients in there maybe. I don't normally do that actually, so I might just skip that. Leave it about 4 days, shove some yeast, shove the honey in, which is just there, and I just got about, what is it, 455 maybe, 454 grams of just normal clear honey. I'm going to toss that in after about 3 days, give it a good stir, and leave it to its own business. Hopefully it will attenuate down more than it did last time when I made a barley wine. Last time it only came to about maybe 1030, which was, I think it was just my mistake, but in the end it came out very nice. Right, let's have a quick look at the other stuff and we'll carry on. So obviously trip I was down in Warminster Maltings yesterday. I picked up about that's 16 bags, not for me, for some of my other homebrewed friends. But there's the old Braumeister. I just heated up to 52 degrees to mash in. I'm starting with about 25 litres, but I will now transfer you across to Divamy, who's going to explain the recipe and my design. Okay, so I thought I'd take you through this recipe. It's got a bit of a strange name, Mum's Brew. It's just, my mum used to drink barley wine, and she still does. I made the last batch for her, so I'm just going to have another go on the Braumeister as opposed to the Grainfather, which I did last time. Let's run you through the recipe. It's a 12-litre batch. I've got, as I said, I've got 4.5 kilograms of pale malt in there, 200 grams of special B, 200 grams of Crystal 60. Yeah, we're going to be using some hops later on. I've done some water treatments. I think I put 7 about 7 millilitres of concentrated phosphoric acid. Try to get a pH of 5.2. We'll take a pH reading soon, see what it comes out about that. I'm going to mash for 120 minutes at 65. Actually, I'm going to mash for 110 minutes and then do a 10-minute mash out. So slightly different, but that shouldn't really affect the figures. Okay, my water calculations, because it's obviously the Braumeister's really there for 20 litres. I need to do a little bit of calculation. It's my little special sheet that I use. So I've got, I worked out that I've got 5.1 kilograms of grains in total. I've put 25 litres into the pot. I know what the grain absorption and displacement is. That's the volume of grain in litres. And down here it tells me that my pre-boil volume would be about 21 litres. What have I got? I'm going to add an extra litre of sparge water at the end. Okay, so down here I know how much I'm going to be boiling off. I'm going to be boiling for 120 minutes, which I've got a few calculations here for shrinkage, and loss in fermentation, and loss in the boiler, about 2.4 litres. There's like a little gap at the bottom on the Braumeister. And it brings me down to 11.96 litres in the fermenter in the end, which is, well, in the keg. I'm going to pop it into a corny keg after it's finished fermentation and condition it in there for a few months until I cover it up to bottle it up. So there it is. That's my recipe. So I've hit my target temperature of 25 centigrade. I'm going to bash at that temperature for about an hour and 10 minutes, then I'm going to ramp it up to 75 degrees for mash out, and that's about it so far. So today I'm going to experiment with just dumping the whole lot in, because this thing underlets, the grains really should, and it does actually get the grains moving quite a lot, so I haven't got to fuss around too much with making sure all the grains are all covered in water. But also I found with, anyway, let's see what happens, and we could always stir again if it doesn't quite work. Oh dear, hang on, I get my shovel. I was going to dump it straight on top, I'm not going to fuss around too much. Hopefully it'll just sink down a bit more. So give it a bit of a shake to get the push the grains down a bit. Okay, I can remember the old late Paul Wickstein. He did this, and he made it a hell lot easier. But anyway, just let it soak down, and you'll come back to that in a while. Okay, so I let it soak for a while, and after a while, I started to give it a bit of a podge, and now it's all mashed in quite well. No dough balls really. So I think just allowing the liquid to soak through is just good as well. So there we are. Right, I'm going to start the mash, and I will continue. So I'll get the fine screed on. Right, go to myself. Ow. Okay, I've treated the water with about 7 millilitres of phosphoric acid. I put about 1.5 grams of Epsom salts in here because I need those in my water. Slightly deficient magnesium. So there we are. Okay, so I'll leave this start up, and we'll leave it there for 2 hours. Well, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Okay, so normally when what I normally do, I vacuum pack and keep my stuff in the freezer when I'm not using it. So first I've got the Pilgrim here. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly wipe inside to get any of the hop oils off the inside of this bag here, and I'll just quickly vacuum seal this. Oops. Try to vacuum seal it. So there we go. It's all sealed up, and what I normally do, I just give it another quick seal again, just to make sure. So I just do a double seal at the top there. Doesn't hurt, it doesn't cost anything extra. Let's have a look at that. Let's see, we've got 2 little seals there, completely sealed up, nice and solid. I can go straight in the freezer now. And I've got the Bramling crust here. What I'll do here, I'll just mash it down a bit so it's right at the bottom. Then we'll fold it right up. And I just need a bag that size. So I've got my bags here somewhere, he says, as he gets very stuck his bags. I bet you can see it. There we are. So I've got a bag. What we do is just quickly seal the top and the bottom first. Measure how much I need, which isn't too much. Leave a little bit of a gap for there you go. I'll put that in there and get it all sealed up as well, and pop that back in the fridge. In the back of the freezer, and that'll be good for the next brew. And same as before, I just do a double seal on that to make sure. Sometimes when you do this, something might get caught in there, so I think that double seal just gives you that extra level of, let's do that, extra level of assurance that it's completely sealed up. So we are, all nice and packed up. It's always good on the brew day to tidy up as you go along. I'm terrible, I'm just lazy for that. I always end up want to tidy at the end. Let's carry on then. So just going to take a pH reading. Hopefully my pH meter is okay. Okay. I'll just take a bit of a pH reading of the water first, which it's not looking quite right at the moment. So it's staying about 7.3, the normal water pH. And it's drifting up to about 8 and 9. My pH meter is a bit buggered. So I'm going to pop this in here and see what that comes down to. It's coming down to about 5.3. You see that from there? Let me just take you off and bring you a bit closer. There we go. 5.3. So that's a good figure. I was after about 5.2. Oh, it's just drifted up again, but my I think that may actually just go down a bit anyway as we go along in a mash. It'll just drop. So the rain's just stopped, sun's out again. Don't know where I'm going to pick these hops, but I'll have to pick these at some stage. They're still quite green actually, and they smell nice. Anyway, soaking wet as well, so there's no chance of picking those. But we're just coming up to, oh well, just up to 110 minutes. So that's just having a pump rest. So a little peek and see what the water's nice and clear. So we're gonna have a mash out now, and then we can get onto the boil. So I've got my my hops ready. I've got, this is the Bramling cross, and this is my my hops. Remember, this is obviously a 12-litre batch, so the this is what normally what you'd use in a larger 20-litre batch. So yeah, we're looking at something like, I think it's about 70 to 80 IBUs, and this is just going to be just doing flavour hops. That's it. So we're just ramping up to 100. Most of the water has dropped out, but I'm just going to sprinkle about a litre of water over the top, just to rinse out the grains a little bit. I'm getting very high ABVs at the moment, so very high efficiencies on this thing, so I'm not really, but it's always nice to sparge. It just gets those, rinses out those extra little bits of grain, or just rinses out those extra little bits of sugars, which obviously want to always get value for money when you're making beer. When I say value for money, obviously more ABV for your a kilo of grain. Okay, so it's just dripping out a bit there. You can see it's undulating slightly. What's happening, the pump is actually going on the Braumeister at the moment, and the pump will carry on till about, I think it's about 83 degrees, and it stops. But yeah, you can see there's a bit more colour in the sparge water what's coming out, and we'll leave that for a while. So hit the boil, just quickly stir in some of the proteins. And they're going to leave it for an hour now to boil, and then after an hour a helper will put some Pilgrim in, and in 2 hours time I'll be back because I've got to go out shopping for school clothes of all things. So there we are. Okay, so I've got the spent grain here, and that's going to go into the recycling box, which we'll do now. It's got the old cheers finger on there. I think I'm down to about 10, no 20, how much is that? It's about 12, that is. It's about right. The mash was quite low actually, the efficiency. It was about 74% efficient. Looking at, I just looked at a gravity of 1060, and I think, hang on, it's just coming to me. So looking at a gravity of about 1060, with the honey in there, that brings it up to about 1094, which with the yeast, hopefully the yeast will attenuate down to something ridiculous like maybe 1005 or something like that. So that should bring the ABV up to maybe 10%, 11%. We only see anyway. Okay, so now I've got all the got my pipes connected. I'm going to turn the water on now and start doing some chilling. Hopefully this won't pop off. Okay, so I'm going to bring it down to about 1080. So it's about 93 at the moment. So bring it up to about 1080, and once we're down to 1080, we'll pull the hops, and I might start just chilling at the same time. So I've got my Bramling costs, and we're just down below 80 centigrade. Put these in now. How are we going to do this? That smells good, as ever. Okay, so let them steep for a while. What I am going to do in the meantime, I'm just going to start, I will carry on doing the chilling as I do it. It takes a while anyway, and that will shorten the brew day a little bit. So, well, soft at the moment, it's down to about 23 degrees. Let's have a look and see how much separation we're getting. Okay, so it's quite dark. Most of the sediment's dropped out, and I'm just decanting my my beer. You can see there's a little bit of hop debris in there. I'm not going to fuss too much, but as you can see, I'm aerating the water as it goes in there. Hop debris is not necessarily much an issue. What I normally find is on my sediment and shrub stays in the bottom of the pot, which I'll show you in a while once this finishes coming out. But yes, we're going to have to wait a while now while it's coming out. I think I've got something like about 14 litres in there, but that may change, we'll see. Getting down to the last few dregs, well aerated in that. That's good. And I just thought I'd show you inside the vessel as it drains out. So you can see I generally leave all of the sediment and the, what's it called? Anyway, that stuff there, you can see it. I've got a bit of hop on the top there, but I think what's happened is a few hot particles have actually gone inside of the hole, well, the drainage hole, and they'll actually filter out any of these particles going through. So let's come back to me. So yeah, one question somebody asked me today actually is whether or not I use a hot spider. Don't bother. I haven't got the problem with I've got had a little bit of hot debris go in, but apart from that, when I'm draining, some hot flakes actually get into the pipe and just act as a natural filter. As you can see, all the sediment and all the proteins drop to the bottom and they don't actually come out. So most of the bottom there is just all crap. I don't really want any of that in the beer. I found that's quite good. Also, I think it's cooled down enough now, so I'm going to get some yeast in there. I'm going to ferment it at about 18 degrees for the first 3 or 4 days, and about 3 days time I will top up with, I'll stick the honey in and give it a good stir to aerate it again. I might even stick my air wand in there to give it a good boost, and we'll leave it until it finishes, which will be interesting to see how low this comes. I think the last one come down to about 1030, which was good because I had a good ABV of something like 8%, which was, in a beer it tastes great, but no, we'll see how it goes. Okay, well, I'm going to sign off. Look out, I think I'm going to do a review of my I'm going to do a review of my barley wine, just to give you an idea of that. So I'll tag a link into that when I get a chance, and we'll go from there. Right, hope you have a good, hope you enjoyed the brew day. Please leave in it, ask any questions, like, subscribe, share, and hope you all have a good week. Bye.